Hi, everyone. How's everyone doing tonight? I'm going to go ahead and introduce myself. My name is Hera Javaid. I'm the Associate Director of Alumni Relations and Annual Giving here at John Jay College. We're so excited to have you here tonight. We have a three-part entrepreneurship series. And tonight is our very first workshop called Creating a Business Model. So this was made possible due to Uplift Communities and our alumni network. We have Julius Caranda here tonight, who's a double alum. So excited to have him along with his partner, Achumbaro Atande Esquire, who is going to be leading the discussion. And just a little background on Uplift Communities. They provide workshops, seminars, and individual coaching sessions for adults, teens, and children on financial literacy, entrepreneurship, life skills, career advancement, and college access. I'd also like to give a quick shout out to Roseanne Santos, who's here tonight, who's our Director of Alumni Engagement, and also Megan Serrazzo, who is our event specialist. So thank you guys again for being here tonight, and I'm going to pass it off to Julius and Achumbaro.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Hera. Let's give this 1 second.
So technical difficulties and all, I hope everybody's doing all right as we get started. I'm super excited to be with you. I'm wearing my John Jay blue tie, even though I'm not one of the John Jay alumni, but we're super excited. I think entrepreneurship is an amazing thing, and it's going to grow even, it's going to become even more important during the next decade as we have automation, as you've seen what's going on with COVID. So we are happy to be here to really serve you and help you figure out your business, whether you have an idea or you already have a business. We really think this workshop's going to be a great experience for you. Now, as we start, I would love to go by doing a big round for Hera and Roseanne. This would not happen without them. So please, when you see them virtually, or send them an email, please say thank you to them, because we deal with a lot of schools, and I'm telling you, they have gone above and beyond. And Megan's also putting in the work. It's very unique to see people who truly care for their students, the alumni, as they do. So please give them a big virtual round of applause, all right? Okay, so with that, I have the pleasure of starting off by introducing your double alumni, Julius Caranda. He is my business partner, and I'm blessed to have him. Julius has done amazing things, and he's so humble. So I made sure we have this slide where I start by talking about him. As he's been in so many different careers, as he's currently an adjunct professor, but he's worked in banking, he's worked in the public sector, he works with politicians, he's worked in cybersecurity. He has really a wide breadth of experience. And even before Uplift Communities, he was trying his hand at different entrepreneurial ventures, or looking for different entrepreneurial ventures, but also giving his time by mentoring and advising young teenagers to even adults. So it's my pleasure to introduce your John Jay alum, Julius Caranda.
Thank you so much, Achumbaro. I'm going to assume people are applauding for me, but thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be speaking at John Jay. My alum, I'm an alumni. I've been started John Jay in about 2007, right? Did my undergrad, my MPA here. So it's a pleasure to be here, and it's a pleasure, especially with working with Hera, Roseanne, Megan, and just the alumni relations department. My business partner, my friend, Achumbaro Atande, who's it was his birthday the other day. So wish him happy birthday in the chat if you can. He gave me a wonderful introduction. Obviously, he's a great person to work with. This is why we're here today doing this presentation. Achumbaro is not only a partner at Uplift Communities, he's a 4-time entrepreneur and investor. He's a licensed lawyer, real estate broker, and owns an advertising and branding company based in New York City. prior to Uplift Communities, Chumbro volunteered his time advising 70 business owners bi-monthly and speaking to various groups of teenagers. Chumbro holds a JD degree from Vanderbilt Law School and BA from the University of Albany. So thank you. I'm assuming it's all virtual. I'm assuming the rounds of applause are going off. Everybody's clapping their hands. So thank you. All right. So we just wanted to start off with the expectations for this workshop today. You all came in, you wanted to learn about entrepreneurship. So we're here to deliver. First thing is we want you to have a clear understanding of your idea or business. We'll be giving you a framework to refine your business idea and model. We'll explain 5 key parts of running a business and have you work on them. We also would really enjoy your feedback. We will need you to complete a Google survey of the workshop at the end. It will help us improve our service to you and other students. And as a special thank you, we will select, as a special thank you for my John Jay alumni and current students, because you know I have to put on for the school, put on for my school, for my college. We will be select one student to review their business model and have a 20-minute free consultation with them. If more than 60% of you respond, we will do 2 consultations. If 90% or more, we'll select 3. So this is priceless. You're getting a Chumbro and I's time. We're going to sit down with you and help you with your business idea, consult with you, and give you like a one-on-one feedback. I think this is priceless. You're not only getting this workshop, but you also potentially get some one-on-one time with the both of us. So please fill out the survey. We look forward to speaking with at least, hopefully 3 of you. You know, if not at least 1. Thank you. So we hope you enjoy our workshop. This is going to be a good one. So, Chumbro, you want to kick this off?
Yeah, so now that we've got started, we want to hear, and as you see, we're watching the chat. Thank you so much for all the happy birthdays. I'm very sentimental. So you see me smiling, gushing up over here. But we really want to hear about your businesses. So what are you working on? What's your idea? I want to see in the chat, and I really want to see who's in the room and what you're thinking about. All right, a Caribbean pop-up. Okay. Mm-hmm. Sorry about COVID. Chat bout jerk. All right, well, with 2 T's. Yeah.
Shout out to that.
Fitness studio. Okay. I hope you went virtual. I hope. Makeup artistry business.
Okay.
Amazing.
All right.
Yes. Education agency. Okay.
Educate meditation. Okay. Oh no, mediation. I'm sorry, mediation.
Okay. Bakery Health Coalition.
Okay.
Wow. Staffing agency. Boyfriend started a clothing line. Awesome. Actually used to own part of a clothing line. So that's a really interesting space. Mm-hmm. Eco store. T-shirt business. Okay. So now I have another question. How many of you have already started a business before? How many people have actually started their own business already? Tiffany Graves has 3. That name seems familiar. Tiffany, were you in another workshop? All right, Serena. How you doing, Serena?
I have. Okay. Forensic imaging. Okay.
So never. So here, let's do this so it's easier for us to read this. Can you write 2 if you've already started a business and 1 if you are thinking of it? All right. Okay. Oh, good mix. It seems 50-50 so far. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Now I'm going to ask you can continue putting your 2s and 1s. Now I'm going to ask the next question. If you already have your business or you started your business, have you already had paying customers? If you have paying customers, write 3. If you have not had your first paying customer, write 4. I like to see this. 4, okay, brave, 4. Nice, okay. All right, so that's awesome. Okay, so now let's jump into this. Let's jump into this. I'm gonna start this off, and in this workshop, I'm really going to push you. We call this a workshop because we're going to be enabling you to actually do the work. This is not just something you sit, you're passive in. We've actually selected segments for you to create your business plan, your business model, and to work on that. All right. So this isn't something you just sit down and work on. Most of you should have received an email with a business model canvas, or visual business model, as we like to call it. And really the reason why we're using this, as we go to the next slide, the reason why we're using this is so that we feel that I've 4 times running businesses, talking with so many entrepreneurs. This, most people haven't created their business plan. And I'm telling you, this does everything writing out your business plan would, or let's say 95% of what it would, but you can do it in 1/5, if not 1/10 of the time. Okay. So this is really, I want to give you awesome Vanessa. So if you haven't received the email, that's okay. What I'd like you to do is go on Google right now. We're going to give you time. Go on Google right now. It's free. Julius, your screen went away.
Oh,
go on Google. Go on
I'll
Google.
bring it back right now.
Okay, go on Google right now, and I would like you to search.
Actually, Chumbaro, I can go ahead and put the file in the chat, so that way everyone can have it.
Perfect.
So no worries.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much. So Tara's saving everybody. She's going to put the file in
Don't
the
worry.
chat.
I think someone already beat me to it. So thank you for that. Thank you, Natalia.
So as you dive in, I want you to go, and we're going to work off this, right? We're going to work off 5 segments of this, so you can really, we can really dive into it. Unfortunately, this is something that will take 1 to 3 workshops. It actually takes about 3 workshops to fill out, but we're going to try to really condense it and get 5 things done today as a starting point. Don't beat yourself over the head if you're having difficulty. This is something you can always refresh. To this point, we are refreshing ours. And that's why I like this more than a business plan, right? A business plan may take a month to 2 months to write. And then once you start your business, everything changes. This, you can do this in a few days if you're with us, or a day if you're with us, or maybe a week or 2. We're going to really try to, but you can always update it. So it's less time, and you can go out in the market and see that it actually works. All right. Now I'm going to bring back my chat screen just so I make sure. Now, has anybody, all right, so let's see, what number are we on? If you've done a business model before, write 5. If you've never done one, write the number 7. All right, if you've never done a business model, okay, wow. All right, so that's what I thought. Most people haven't, and don't worry about that. That's okay. That's why we're here. I'm guessing 0 is for not doing it, but that's why we're here. So we're really going to jump into this, right? And so the best way to start doing this is from the center out, okay? You're welcome. You're welcome. The best way to start doing this is from the center out. And so we're going to start off with the middle, and it's called value proposition, all right? So we're going to start off with value proposition. So the value proposition, I'm going to explain this. This is the reason why people want your service or product, okay? So it is the value that you bring to somebody whenever they purchase or interact with your service, all right? So that can be anything from, so somebody ran a fitness store, right? So your value is you're giving them unique exercises to do, or you're giving them motivation, or you're helping them lose weight, or you're helping them get fit. Now, let me see a few more businesses that's in here. Now I have to go past all these 7s and the happy birthdays to see, to the jerk chicken, Caribbean restaurant. So Caribbean food, right? To the makeup artistry, you're helping people show the side of them that they want the world to see. So this is your value proposition. So right now, we're going to have you work on this. We'll give you 5 minutes, and I'm going to continue explaining it while you're working. So this is, as I said, this is business. We're not here to just give you knowledge. One of my favorite quotes comes from Tony Robbins, right? And most people say knowledge is power, but knowledge isn't power. Execution is power, right? It doesn't matter if you know everything in the world and you don't act upon it. So we want to make sure you're doing what you need to do so you're moving forward in your business, all right? So today we're working on execution. We're getting you going forward, all right? So if you're excited to do this, say, give me a 2. And if you're a little bit scared, give me a 1. It's okay to be scared. We're gonna walk you through it, all right? Yes, some brave souls, thank you. Thank you, all right. So value proposition. So we're gonna start with the example of TikTok, right? How many people know TikTok? Let's get 9 if you've heard of TikTok. And then an 8 if you haven't. So TikTok. So let me see some things. Does anybody know what TikTok value proposition is? Right? No? But a lot of people use it, right? It's had some of the best growth in terms of App Store downloads, silly videos. So their value proposition is for the consumer, it's entertainment, right? It's entertainment. So that's a value proposition. But value proposition, sometimes you have more than one customer. So for the consumers, it's entertainment, but you have another customer, which is the creator, right? And they make it easier to create these silly videos, right? These entertaining videos, right? So that's another side of their value proposition. So I'm just trying to explain this, and we're going to explain and walk through TikTok. TikTok's going to be our case example for today. We're going to walk through TikTok with you so you can kind of see how that works and apply it to your own business. Now, while you're thinking of this, I want you to think of how come TikTok is succeeding even though we have Instagram, which is supposed to fill that space, right? Instagram's doing it. So I want you, when you're doing the value proposition, is to think of what is your competitive advantage, right? What makes you different or better than other people who are already doing this, okay? So think about that as you're writing this out. And what I like, you still have what? 2.5 more minutes. So while you're writing this, I would like to see some people post their business idea and what they believe their value proposition is. And we'll try to give some feedback before we move on to the next one. All right? So let's see. Is the link available? Which link? So we posted it earlier in the group. I think we can post it again, the visual business model template. So if you scroll up a bit. Thank you, Hera.
Yeah. Mediation, helping families through crisis.
Awesome.
Awesome.
So Andre, I'm going to ask you this, right? What is unique to your business versus other businesses that may be helping families through crisis, right? And so I'm pushing. I know this is an entry level thing, but I'm pushing a little bit more because we truly want you to succeed, right? Okay, you see like this, Leonardo said, psychological based fitness. You see, that's different. I haven't heard that before. Fusion of authentic Caribbean flavors in Chattanooga. Oh, actually, my law school was in Nashville. So I was in Nashville, Tennessee. Awesome. Okay. I hope you give us a great plate if we come by there.
Hope so.
Social welfare organization with all Divine Nine members. Okay.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yes.
Education agency, helping students to improve academically.
Now, so I'm gonna push. We have to move on, but I'm gonna push on that education agency too, which I like that you're helping students to improve academically. But how? What's different between you and another education agency, right? And a fusion restaurant. What's the difference between you and another fusion restaurant? You have to get super specific, because if you don't, so this is partly my fault. My company is a branding company too, my other company. So I really focus down on this. So sorry if I'm a little bit harder than other people might, but you really have to focus in order. I don't want to see people failing, because one of our questions was, do businesses fail? New business owners fail? And honestly, 9 out of 10 do. 9 out of 10 fail. And partly the reason is because people don't really think about their value proposition. So I know we're going over a little bit, but I'm going to actually give, if Julius doesn't mind, I want to give people 2 more minutes to focus on this, because this is really important that you just think about it. You're not going to fully get it now. Juice bar, offering fresh juice.
So
I want you to truly
focus,
focus on this so that we can understand that. You can understand it going forward, right? You can go on, and maybe if you do, maybe you'll be one of the people who we talk to, and we would love to help you with your business, but you just have to make sure everyone else also takes the survey. All right. Only licensed Caribbean establishment here. Serve college students. Nice. Liliana, that's a hard one for me because you're right. There's so many. So Liliana, I'm going to ask you. Let me scroll back up to what you said before. I know there's 100+ people in here, but we look at each of you as individuals. So let me see if I can find. Sorry, Liliana, I can't find what you said before. Many agencies offering the same services. So what are you focusing on a specific demographic, right? Are you focusing on a specific age group? Are you doing it with a specific method? What's really unique about it? After school programs, okay, but for what age group? So like, I want you to get super specific for everybody. School age, yep, school age, but how? What's so special about you with the school age? And think about, that's not something you have to answer now, and that's not something you might be great at right now, which is okay. So many people think you have to be great at a business now. Now, before I get off my little soapbox, I wanted to say that, it's my pleasure. I wanted to say that you do not have to be great at what you're doing yet, right? You can start and you learn. You start and you learn. Elon Musk is one of my favorite entrepreneurs. SpaceX, he knew nothing about building rockets. He knew nothing about building rockets before he started doing that, right? So even as something as complex as rocket science, if we want to quote terms, something as complex as rocket science, somebody who had no knowledge about that started the best space company to date, right? Better than governments have done. So I really want you to know that even if you don't know, it's okay to try to have a unique value proposition that may not be in your skill set yet. All right? Okay, thank you, Edgar. I'm going to let Julie, we have to move on to other ones. As much as we love value proposition, let's go on.
Okay, all right. So next up is key activities. The key activities that a business needs to run. So any activities that your business is engaged in for the primary purpose of making a profit. Business activities include operations, marketing, production, problem solving, and administration. So the key activities of a business represent what the company must do to make the business model work. These activities can be, producing a product. In the case of TikTok, the company provides a service to users to upload their content. The users can potentially also, monetize their content and also off of ad revenue, and also capitalize off the notoriety from the app. We've seen people go viral. We've seen it with Instagram influencers. We've seen people get become famous off of Facebook and Twitter and YouTube. So TikTok has a similar business model where it allows users to become really popular and then allow them to, market their products. If they're selling T-shirts, they're selling merch. They're, they even, some of them get into music and other forms of entertainment. Another activity or service that the TikTok provides is allows users to watch content. So you're not only uploading content, but you're watching content. You're watching the TikTok videos. And the product of TikTok is the app itself. The app, it's its own product. It was created and is designed for people to engage, use, share videos. And another activity that TikTok utilizes to run its app is creating and developing algorithms. So algorithms are just pretty much mathematical equations that study and allow users, study user data allows the app to show videos that the users may enjoy. So if you like watching cat videos, if you like watching dance videos, if you like watching videos about music, the algorithms are designed to provide you with that content to keep you engaged in those apps longer than ever, right? So we've all been on, various social media apps. We've been on YouTube, we've been on Facebook, and we've been on Instagram, and we've been scrolling for, an hour, hours on straight. And there's a reason behind that. There is actually scientific data. There are actually scientists that are hired by these companies to study human behavior and what keeps people engaged. Those are the activities that allow TikTok to function and keep people on the app, so that they can, provide ads. They can also do something called, collecting data on users, right? They're actually, in a little bit of trouble right now in regards to that with with our president. But I don't want to get too into that. This is not a political. You can stay for the political workshop. That might be, in a month or so. But we're gonna keep it where TikTok activities live, right? But they do collect your data. That is a real thing. Most social media apps collect your data, and they use it. Their rationale for collecting your data, such as your demographics, your location, your age, your email address, et cetera, all these tidbits of information, they say, might be just to provide better content for you. If, if somebody's 10, if the 10 to 15 range, 10 to 15 year old range may want to watch a certain amount of content, 25 to 30 may want to watch some type of content. If you're over 40, you shouldn't be. No, I was about to say you shouldn't be on TikTok, but that's not. I'm joking. If you're over, no age discrimination. Everybody should be on TikTok. Though, regardless of your age. I'm just joking around. So yeah. But all this data is information. So they want to know what 40-year-olds are watching. They want to know what 5-year-olds are watching. They want to know what 15-year-old in New York City is engaged in. Want to know what a 70-year-old in Oklahoma is watching, right? That's key information that these companies need to know. They want to make sure that the user experience is better, like I said, but they also use your data to sell to advertisers, right? So similar to YouTube, similar to Facebook and Instagram, all these social media apps, they take your data, collect your information, and they'll sell it to, like, for example, they'll sell it to a Coca-Cola, H&M, The Gap, all these places where they want to know, hey, where are my consumers? Where are the people that are going to buy my products? They're on TikTok, they're on YouTube, they're on Facebook. I need to know what videos they're watching. I need to know what they're scrolling, so I can place my ad here. They can just click and purchase my product. That's part of the activity, is collecting data to make sure that the company is monetizing itself. It's making money. So another key component in a business model is your resources, key resources. So the most important assets required to make a business model work. These are resources that allow enterprise to create and offer value proposition, reach markets, maintain relationships with customer segments. So key resources, what is that necessarily? So that could be physical. So every business has physical assets. Some business, let's say if you were running a construction company, your resources would be your machinery, the machinery that you use, anything from like the nails and the beams that you're purchasing. All these things are physical assets. If you are a large company, like say Nike has a huge campus out in Portland, Oregon, right? Those are physical assets. So not only do they own, obviously their stock, their actual physical stock of sneakers in warehouses, but they also have a huge campus that they own out there that allows them to attract NBA players, celebrities. That's an attraction. That's something that they own. They can use as an asset to further their business. And TikTok's in our case study with TikTok, they most likely don't have much physical access just because it's more of a social media platform than anything else. But they would have, vehicles, I'm sure, own some type of vehicles, just at least to take their, the CEOs from one place to other, at least leasing or owning some type of vehicles. They probably lease or rent office space, but they do have they do own computers, they do own office equipment, chairs, etc. Things that they need to function as a business. And one of the main things, I think, probably the main thing with a company like TikTok that they value their resource is intellectual property, IP. So intellectual property would be source code, those algorithms that we were talking about earlier, patents, proprietary knowledge, and copyrights. So so TikTok is once again, a social media platform, and their IP is really where the value lies. So their idea of having this music-based app with short videos, funny videos, quirky videos is worth a tremendous amount of money because they came up with this unique idea. It's not a new idea, but it's their unique way of approaching it. Allows users to experience something a little bit different than other social media platforms. So that's worth a whole lot of money. How much that is, that I'm not an investment banker, so I don't know. I can't come up with that value, but I'm sure it's worth a lot of money, to so much to the point where, once again, they're being forced to sell some portion of the company because their IP. Listen, I know that's another long story, but that is a key component in business. So if you're starting a business, your IP is worth a tremendous amount, especially if it's a unique idea, right? You come in with something that no one has ever thought of before. You want to protect your intellectual property. You want to get a lawyer, IP lawyer, copyright lawyer, trademark lawyer to protect your intellectual assets, your trademarks, your designs, your brands. These are things that as a business owner, you want to be aware of, and you want to have knowledge on, and you want to make sure that you're protecting. Because if you come up with an idea and you tell me it's a good idea, hey, I might go to the patent place, and just go and patent the idea, and get your money. I'm not, I'm a good guy, so I may or may not. I'm kidding. No, if you come to us in Cuba or not, we're not gonna steal your idea. We're here to help you. We're here to help. We might take a little cut, a little 10% fee. But that's neither here nor there. So next up, human resources. Human resources or employees are absolutely necessary. I'm sure most of us either have a job or at least have had a job in the past, right? Human resources is vital in any company making it run. That is, you are, despite what your boss may tell you, you are an asset to your company. Don't let them tell you any different. Without people, most companies will not be able to run. Any large company, any well-functioning company won't be able to run, right, without having individuals on staff that can help the day-to-day process. And then finally, financial resources, right? We all need, cash to run a business. Some of us may start, just kind of off of money, take money from our jobs. We might start a side hustle, and we're using our 9-to-5 money to fund our business. Other people, let's say you have a great idea and you get like investors. You get somebody, you can go to a venture capitalist, and they say, hey, I want to give you $2 million to invest in your business. I mean, you're going to have to pay that money back, but it's still an asset that you can get. Other people, you can also go to a bank to get a loan, line of credit, et cetera, et cetera. But finances is a huge resource. We all need cash at hand. As a business owner, cash is king, or credit is king as well, depending on who you talk to. So some people, they'll use your own money to start the business. That's some people's advice. But yes, these are some of the resources that you would need to function in your business. All right. So I'm gonna let Achumro take over the next slide.
Yes. So these two things, at the end of the day, will make or break your business. After your value proposition, you have to make sure your revenue is greater than your expenses, or you are running a nonprofit. So you have to make sure, and even a nonprofit, you have to operate like a business, because if it's too high, then you'll have to close your nonprofit doors. So for everyone, I really want you to take special care. And we're actually going to talk about expenses first. And that's because everybody gets so excited about revenues, but they don't want to calculate expenses. And that's what really sinks the ship. So we're going to talk about expenses first. And one of the ways to calculate expenses is by everything you wrote down as a key resource is an expense, probably, right? So, so your employees, that's an expense. So they're still assets, but assets cost money sometimes. So we really want you to take the time, rent, correct. Take the time to really write out so this one I'm going to give 5 to 8 minutes. And I want people to write ideas too during this period. So for TikTok, as we're going on with this, I want people to write down so other people, you can look in the chat room and say, hey, did I miss this? And add that, all right? So for TikTok, an expense would be the data centers they need, right? So they need data centers to host the data they're gathering, right? They need data scientists. They need programmers. They need front-end developers, back-end developers. I wanted you to get a 3K Louis bag is not an asset, exactly. Google Ads, so your marketing budget, that's an expense, right? Insurance, exactly. What's your startup cost? Is it going to cost money for you to incorporate, create a company? So things like this, I really want you to think about as you're going through what are your expenses, right? So for some of you who's already done this, this is what I'll challenge you to do, because I feel that this is a great exercise for whether you're a new entrepreneur or you already have your business. And what I'd love for you to do in advanced version is to get more specific. Write down the dollar amounts of those expenses, right? While other people may be listing out, for you, if you already have and you understand it, start writing down how much it costs, right? So for us, we have an email client. Per each email account we have, it costs us money. When we have a business account, it costs us money. So that's something I would write down, right? So web hosting, that's another expense, right? E-commerce store, right? I used to have a Shopify. I used to do e-commerce, drop shipping. That's an expense. So these things you want to know, and you want to get as specific as possible so you understand your expenses. Because at the end of the day, as Julia says, cash is king. And one thing that really sinks businesses is cash flow. You can have $1 million coming in a year from now, but if you owe 100K now, you might go into bankruptcy, right? If you can't pay that and you have no cash to pay, you might go in bankruptcy. So you need to know your expenses, and you need to also, for those who already know the expenses and the numbers of when are they due. You see, I love that, Serena, 150 a week. So knowing exactly when you have to pay each expense is another level of advancement if you really, lawyers, yes, we're a little bit expensive. Insurance, yes. So some of that, that's what I like to say. Now, while we're doing that and we're talking about this, we wanted to touch upon, we saw some questions. And one of the questions that came in that we wanted to talk about was what to do if you are an undocumented immigrant, right? How you can really do that. So please continue writing. I just want to talk about that for whoever's out there who is one or may know one, so you can share this information with them. So one of the beauty of America, I know there's a lot of flaws. One of the beauty, it was a nation built on immigrants. So I think business is one of the best paths as an undocumented immigrant to really build up your resources, because this business model, you don't need papers per se to create a business model, right? You don't need, so you can go really figure out, okay, this is how I do this. You're writing, this is my value proposition. Okay, these are the key activities I need to know. These are the key resources I need to acquire. And you can really drill in on that. Now, furthermore, what I really want you to think about is not to try to put the cart before the horse. This is it's a lot for us to dig into, and unfortunately, I can't dive into it as deep as I would like to during the session. But what I really want you to think about is step by step, right? All entrepreneurs, but step by step. Just try figuring out how to keep on moving to the next step, because if you try to look too far ahead, it's going to look burdensome, right? Sometimes you're just trying to hit the next step on the ladder. So hopefully you can keep on moving forward. Don't try to look at the end of the road, just step by step, and it's all right. I would say also reaching out to groups that are sympathetic and who are willing to help is another key resource. What you'll find is eventually you'll start finding entrepreneurs who are similar, and you can bond with each other and support each other and lift each other up. All right. Okay. So.
Well, I just want to add on to what you're saying, Bro. So just in terms of the illegal immigrants, I'm not, John Jay is based in New York City. I'm sure the alumni and people, everyone here may not be living in the city, but New York City is a sanctuary city. So just remember that sanctuary city, meaning that the federal government, we're not required to turn over someone who's of a legal status to the federal government, to ICE. I know ICE still does, obviously looks for people and does raids throughout the city, but just as a, just throwing that out there. If you feel unsafe, going through the city, it is a sanctuary city.
Right, so as we go on, let me check the time. All right, as we go on, so that's expenses. Now, let me see, what are people, even your cell phone? Yes. Okay. So we're going to now revenue. That's the people we love, right? That's the section we love, where we count our money. So revenue streams. So revenue streams is really when your value proposition, when it meets your target customers. So unfortunately, during this workshop, we're not going to be able to touch on target customers, but we will touch about customer segments in our next workshop. Or was it our third one? The marketing, 30-day marketing. I forgot whether that's two. Well, either way, you should come to the next workshop on Tuesday.
Marketing plan is the next one. Okay,
so yes, we will touch upon target customers and a 30-day marketing plan, how you can potentially get clients in 30 days. We're going to touch upon target customers during that segment. But really, your revenue streams is when your value proposition meets your target customers, because you might have a different value proposition per target customer, right? The value is different. Just like we said with TikTok, the value to the audience is different than the value to the creator. The value to the creator is it's easier to create, right? It's easier to go viral because TikTok was so new. They pushed the algorithm to really make a lot of people go viral quickly. So more creators will jump on because they want to go. It's kind of like Instagram. When Instagram was new, it was much easier to get followers or a lot of views. But now that it's more popular, they've made it harder, okay? So I want everyone to really think about what that means, okay? So what's your value proposition and to whom and how, and what are they willing to pay? Or how can you receive money from that? So as we said for TikTok, advertising revenue, right? Sponsorship deals, they're selling data. So what that means is when I run ads, I'm able to target very specifically. Typically I use Facebook, but I'm able to target very specifically based on people's interest, right? And so they're essentially packaging that data so I can peruse through it and figure out, okay, this is the type of content I should create. And this is how, this is to whom I should send it, right? So those are different revenue streams that are going on. As Julia said, we won't get into politics, but one of the other things that is worrisome is who is getting that data and who are they selling that data to? Are they selling it to governments? And that's what any company, not just TikTok, Instagram as well, any company as well. So knowing exactly what's going on that platform or how you're making money is essential. And you don't, I know some people, let's see, so I don't like talking too much, but I like to see, so a question for you. Who here wants to talk about their revenue streams or just list out, let's start seeing revenue streams in the name of your business and how you're making money. So for example, Caribbean, the Caribbean food in Chattanooga, Tennessee. One, you're getting regular customers, right? That's one revenue stream. Second one, I'm going to guess is catering. You might do catering, so that's corporate revenue streams. Well, you have restrictions right now. I don't know if you're able to deliver paid private training. Okay. Clients.
Okay.
But I understand clients, but what else?
Group events. Okay.
Group events. Okay.
So ticket sales. So.
Mm-hmm. Clients. Yeah, but we get it's clients, right? Typically it's coming from clients. So I'm going to push back. Who are clients? What are competitions? Partnerships. Okay. Like try to get very specific. It's just like value proposition. The point of this is so you can have a clearer picture of your business. Selling the product, okay. Have a clear picture of your business. So you need to be a bit more specific. One-to-one group coaching, yes, virtually or in person, exactly. You see, so those are two revenue streams. One-to-one is one revenue stream because it's for a specific customer who might just want that personalized service versus a group coaching, which is for other people, you're pulling people together, right? Collaborations. Monetizing a brand via marketing, t-shirt, dance competitions, food party. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you. That's it. I know there was a lot more businesses than just said it. So this is the issue, right? We don't really, we need to think harder about how we're monetizing the value we are creating, right? Because at the end of the day, you have to capture some of that value for yourself so you're sustainable. Paparazzi accessories by I mail everything out and sell all my products mainly online and having parties online. Awesome. Awesome. Cleaning business, training clients on how to maintain their living environments. Awesome. Awesome. All right, so that's a lot of it. What we would like to do now, as we go on, what we'd like to do now is take some questions from all of you, right? So what questions you have specifically on these segments, but any other questions? We're going to start off with some prepared questions that people already sent in. So for the next segment, please send in questions as you're RSVPing as well and write them in. So we have that list as well. But please start writing your questions so we can answer them. All right.
All right, so I'll get started. Good evening, everyone. My name is Roseanne Santos. I'm the Director of Alumni Engagement at John Jay College, and we are really happy to have you here tonight with us. We know you can be in many places, and we're really happy that you chose to be with us this evening. One of the main questions that I'm seeing here is there financial help when starting up a business? And I would combine that with other resources as well. So, you know, minority women-owned businesses, women-owned businesses, you know, things of that nature. If you can talk about the resources and or financial help for starting up a business.
Okay. So there is financial help. There's two ways to think about it, right? One is raising money from outside people, typically investors or people lending money. And then another way is raising money yourself. So meaning you're financing it yourself. So let's say you have another job and this is you start off part-time. So you're funneling some of your paycheck into this. Now, when I say raising money from other people, so that can be investors. Some of you may have seen Shark Tank, crowdfunding, as someone says, and some of you might have seen Shark Tank. What I want to really say, it's a lot harder than it looks. And also you lose a lot more than you think when you do that. I highly advise against taking a loan when you start off a business. Mark Cuban, one of the sharks, agrees with me on that. Please do not take out a loan. It puts too much pressure on you. And you're going to have to learn so much. You're going to have to learn so much. So I understand it's like, it's, hey, I want money. I need money to start. But honestly, most of you need less money than you think, right? There's a great quote that says something like, there's no such thing as an unreasonable goal, only unreasonable timelines. And what many people are trying to do when they're taking money, you're trying to accelerate your timeline. But you need to give yourself time to learn, time to think, and go through it. So are there resources? Yes. New York City small business. What is it? Small business?
Small Business Services, SBS.
Yes, SBS, Small Business Services. That's something they provide workshops to. There might be some funding or grants available there. There are things called incubators and accelerators, pitch competitions. So one of the pitch competitions where you can go pitch your business, try to raise money. There's something called what usually happens after people raise their own money. Honestly, with businesses, most of the time what happens is you do a friends and family round. Actually, it's called FFF. It's called Friends, Family, and Fools. But that's what typically happens if you're looking to raise money. All right, so those are some things, and I want to get to other questions. So unfortunately, we're going to have to stop. I'm going to have to stop answering that now.
We might have to have a separate workshop on financing a small business.
Yes.
Because that's the majority of questions have some version of how do I finance it? How do I get money? What do I do? Okay. I think the next grouping of questions has to do with the ideas, right? So yes, the money is important, but if you don't have a good idea, nobody's going to give you any money. So people are asking, how do I know it's a good idea? How do I take what I already do in my profession and turn that into a business? And, leaving your 9-to-5 to turn a business. There was a really good question here about how can you get started in COVID without losing money? And the reality is that there is no guarantee that you won't lose money. There's always, you have to be willing to take those risks. So those are the kinds of questions next that I would say, the ideas, the creativity, how do they pivot into a business? What kind of ideas work? What audiences are going to go for what ideas? So those are a little bit more abstract, but they're kind of in the same umbrella.
Okay. I think consulting is one of the best ways you can turn your profession into a business. For example, I think some people in there, they said they're, personal training. So if you work at a gym and gyms closed down during COVID, right? A lot of people transition. I had a friend of mine transitioned from working in the gyms to doing outdoor training, and was able to make actual killing because people saw him out working outside in the park, and he was able to transition. So even to that point with the new normal that we're in, you kind of have to be creative. If you're used to doing things in person, you may have to, obviously take things virtual. We usually do these workshops in person. We do these workshops in person. We're so used to like shaking hands and after the workshops and taking pictures with people. That's not really a reality right now. They're so able to get 100 on, right? Even despite the current normal, and but if you do have a you've worked on, something that you worked on for a long time, let's say you spent 10 years in a profession, you can definitely turn that job now into become a consultant, consult on, whether it be, hey, I provide services on, marketing, branding. I teach people how to, self-defense, if martial arts, anything like that. There's so many ways you can take your profession, stuff that you're good at, your skill set, and now you can train people, have clients. So there's a lot of different ways. You just have to be creative and also pay attention to what people are interested in, right? What do people really want to learn? What do they like? What are they willing to pay for?
Yeah, and I'll just add on something quick to the end of that. How you know if an idea is good or not? Even Mark Cuban has been wrong on things he said no to. So just go out, try it. Try to sell it. The market will tell you. All right, try to sell it.
Thank you. All great ideas. Let's see. If just an example off of the Shark Tank, if any of you know about the Lip Bar, it's a Black entrepreneur. She's a woman. Her name is Melissa. I can't think of her last name. She went on Shark Tank, and she is now, and they denied her. And she is doing a killing selling lipstick. They told her the industry was saturated, but she has organic, kind of nature-friendly lipsticks, and she recently launched in Target now. So yeah, so they're not always right on Shark Tank. Achamboro and Julius, can you provide, let's say, the top 5 things you need to do to literally start a business? Like, what, I don't have a business, I don't have an LLC. What are the top 5 things I need to do on a Sunday afternoon where I'm only going to focus on this? I'm saying, I'm going to start my business. This is what I have to do. Like, what is the foundation, the basics?
So that's going to change to be eligible for the, so one thing I'm just going to say, please fill out this survey so we have some data on what you like, what you didn't like. I just posted a link, and to be eligible for the raffle for the free consultation. So top 5 things, it changes per industry, but here, I'll give you a baseline. 1, be clear about your value proposition. And I want to use the word have, you have to 99.9% of the time, but there are ways in business you get lucky. So that doesn't mean even if, second thing, be clear about your customers, right? Who's your customer? So that's on a Sunday night, I would say, okay, this is, actually, I would start with the customers first and then say, what do they need? That's typically how we start. Start with the customers. What do they need? And do they have the money to be able to pay for it? So then I will make a list of the lowest hanging fruit, the people who I don't have to convince that hard to buy it. And I would get their contact information and call them up. So call them up and try to sell / get feedback from them. So I wouldn't say the first call should be to sell, but to ask them, hey, would they be interested in something like this, right? So that can be a call. It can be also in person, but those will be things that I would say you need to do. Then of course you need to produce or create the service or product. And 5, iterate. So what does iterate mean? It means you're going to go back and if it doesn't work, you're going to try to tweak it and consistently go through that loop, right? You're consistently going through that loop, all right? Sorry, should I go again in repeating the stuff?
No, I typed in 3, so that's
Okay.
fine. The top 3 is okay. Someone is asking in the chat, and I guess this is where I was trying to go with it. The action items, when should you file for an LLC? There are certain things you have to do. You have to check a name, right? If I'm not mistaken, you can correct me. You have to check that someone's taken the name of your business.
Correct.
You have to file the LLC. There's all sorts of stuff you have to do. Can you answer? Laura Alcantara was asking that question. When should you file for an LLC? And does it cost money?
So I'll jump on this grenade since I'm the lawyer, but this is not legal advice. I always have to clarify. This is not legal advice. So we're going to touch upon this in our 3rd workshop. So that's 2 Tuesdays from now. We're going to dive deeper into that. I recommend getting it as early as possible, but it's not, except for certain professions, you actually may not actually need to incorporate. It's suggested. I strongly recommend you incorporate or file an LLC. But for most businesses, you can start off as a sole proprietor. I do not recommend, I'm going to say this again for the people in the back, I do not recommend doing a sole proprietor, but you don't have to jump into one. So an LLC costs typically in New York, it costs $200. All right. So it's $200 or $125 to file it with the New York, it's dos.newyork.gov. So dos.newyork.gov, and you can go file one. I recommend you talk to a lawyer or attorney, but as Roseanne said, you have to go and check that the name is not taken. Also, depending on what service you are, if, for example, if you're in you want to do a financial service, you have to clear with a different bureau first too. They don't want you taking certain names as well. So these are things you want to think about as you go in. but we're going to cover that more in our legal workshop, which is the two Tuesdays from now. Thank you.
Wednesdays. I think they're Wednesday. No? Okay. Anyway, the links are
yeah.
above.
Yeah, so they're actually every Tuesday for the next two
Tuesday, sorry.
Tuesdays. So
Yeah.
today's a Tuesday, next week
Sorry.
Tuesday, and the week after. No worries.
I'm accelerating the week.
That's right, Roseanne.
Are there any other questions in the chat? Because I can keep going on here if on the pre-questions if people don't have any questions in the chat. What's our time looking like? Okay. Let's see, such as have an advertisement in a publication for a certain number of days. Oh, aren't there also other requirements to getting an LLC, such as having an advertisement in a publication for a certain number of days? I've never heard that, so I'd love to hear the answer.
Yeah, so it's okay. Most people don't know about this, but the good thing is the DOS hasn't cracked down on this. So it's a really, let me make sure, you know what, forget it. It's a terrible law. it's a terrible law. I was trying to be political and not say that. It's a terrible law, and
Nice.
yes. So you're supposed to publish in 2 publications in the city or town that you're located in, and it's for several weeks. And unfortunately, with that, in New York City, that can cost $1,000 if you're publishing in newspapers in New York City. So it's terrible. It was done. It was done to boost up the newspaper industry. It doesn't make any sense because nobody looks in that, but unfortunately that is a regulation. Most people do not do that because most people don't even know about this law, but still it is still a regulation, and when you can, please do it.
Tiffany Kennedy is saying to advertise in Albany, and she raised her hand. Can we unmute her so she can ask her question? Tiffany Kennedy. And also, how long does it take to get an LLC while we're unmuting her? Achimbaro.
Depending on the LLC, you can do it in a matter of days.
Okay.
Hi, good afternoon. It's evening now, sorry. So I guess I just wanted to add, just because I just made my own LLC, I followed this link online, and it walked me through the steps that of what you needed to do in New York. So what I found is that, yes, with the publications in New York City, it's really expensive. But because Albany is in New York State, you can file in Albany and it still counts. And it's much cheaper. I paid like $51 for one newspaper. I had to do it in a daily newspaper and there's like another publication, the Gizzard or something, and it was $80 for one, for the other. And it gets published for, I think, 6 weeks continuously. And then once it's published, you get an affidavit that you send to the New York State. But I just did the process, so it wasn't hard and it wasn't difficult. But I did my filing for my LLC through a registered agent online, so that they could put in the paperwork. And so I could have an address, since my business is going to be online on a website. I wanted like a physical address for my mail to go and so forth. So I just wanted to add that.
Thank you.
Possible.
Thank you.
So you get someone's personal experiences. There is a question about, does an LLC have to be renewed every year? Or do you have it forever?
So you have it forever. However, you still have to file taxes and statements and things like that. Typically, it's every 2 years. Just double check with attorney. Once again, this is not legal advice. Unfortunately, I have to say that every time I do that because I'm an attorney. So that's what I would say for that.
And that's even if it's not being used. So if you have an LLC, you haven't gotten it quite off the ground, you still have to file a tax report of $0, right? Or something along those lines.
So I would say talk to your tax preparer about that.
Okay.
Talk to your tax preparer about that to double check. And typically LLCs, you would file that jointly, usually with your tax, because they're called a pass-through entity. So you're not taxed. Sorry, let me take a step back. You're not. So pass-through entity means you're just personally taxed. The company isn't taxed itself. However, you, the owner, or your partners will be taxed on your specific level. All right.
People are asking for your contact information. So do you want to, one of you can share that in the chat for how people can find your webpage?
Julius, you want to jump to the next slide so they can see it?
Yep.
Oh, nope, never mind. 2 slides from now. All right, a few slides.
That's our contact information.
Yes. So you can reach out, LinkedIn. Emails are just our first names at upliftcommunities.com. If you want to reach out via email. Typically, we get a lot of emails, so I think it's better to get to us through LinkedIn than an email. But just so you have that information, we're going to jump back a few slides, but just so you have that information. And also, we will be putting up a YouTube channel soon. So please keep a lookout for that. We're going to be interviewing some amazing people, some amazing CEOs, some amazing entrepreneurs, some amazing educators. So that content will be available on our YouTube channel when that goes live.
When will they find out who wins the raffle?
The next, so yes. So the next, so Julius, actually, you can cycle back and we'll start to wrap up to the slide. The next, we're going to say at the beginning of the next workshop. All right. So you got to come to the workshop. We'll say that right at the beginning, who won the raffle. All right. Okay.
So I don't know if Harris, if we want to start to wrap up, if Julius or Achamboro, you have any closing words for us, for the people who dialed in?
Yeah. So what we would love to do, and typically we do this, so we have a workshop where we work on pitches, where we help people do their pitches. I know Anna Gonzalez, she's done one with me before in the past. She's on this. Right. So we typically have workshops where we help people do their pitches. So what we would love before we wrap up is if anybody's brave enough to do a little 30-second pitch that includes their value proposition, their key activities, their resources, their cost and revenue. We would love that. We'll give some feedback. It'll be gentle feedback, but I think this is a skill that isn't practiced enough. And while John Jay, Roseanne Hera, and Megan are giving us the opportunity to do it here with you, we would love to help somebody, one person, go through this. So whoever is interested in doing that, please hit the number 3. And we will let Roseanne pick a lucky person.
This is priceless. This is priceless, guys. Don't
Nobody. It's crickets. Oh, Serena, you win. Serena Morrison. Let's unmute her. She was the first brave soul. And start your pitch.
Hi, everyone. My name is Serena Morrison. I'm a makeup artist. I got the idea actually around 2 years ago because for my high school prom, I got my makeup done and I absolutely hated it. So that inspired me to start doing makeup and start my own business. I believe my value proposition would be my customer service and being able to follow up with people and just letting people feel comfortable when I do their makeup. Yeah, I've already started my business. It's Crystallized Makeovers. And my inspiration is to be a celebrity makeup artist.
Okay. So what are your costs and revenue streams? I saw you said $150 a chair before. I believe you wrote that in the group.
Sorry, I had to be unmuted. So my costs range from $55 to $70. And revenue stream, I actually checked this month. Do you mean monthly?
Who are your clients, or what type of money are you making and from whom?
Okay, so the type of money I'm making is about $65 per client. And they're usually middle-aged, Black or brown.
Awesome. Right. Awesome. Okay, so let's give some, great job. Everybody give a virtual hand to Sir, virtual hand, yes. Awesome, great job. So one thing, I'll give some feedback and then Julius will give some feedback as well. if he wants to add anything. So one thing I'll add is, so I heard you say customer experience, and I love that. I think I've heard, so I listen. Part of my job, entrepreneurs, our job is to listen to people's pain. And I know I don't know about makeup artists, but I know I've heard a lot of women in my life say that they hate when they go to the hairdresser because they hate the wave. They don't like the service, things like that. They like things to be on time and moving. Some enjoy it, other people say they don't. So in that experience, and so I want you to focus on the word relax. You give them a relaxed or enjoyable environment where they're having fun. So it's not just it's not a transaction. They're having fun doing that. And I want you to add that to your value proposition. I'm gonna really hammer that down in your branding and advertising messaging. All right, and just interact and see if people like that messaging, that can really differentiate yourself, because I don't hear granted, I don't listen to a lot of makeup artists, but I don't hear them talking about fun and experience and things like that. All right, great job, really good job.
Dr. Burrow, there was only one other person. Can we do one more?
Yes,
it was quick.
We can.
So Joelle Crooms, can we unmute Joelle? Thank you, Serena.
Am I here? Do you hear me?
We can hear you, but we can't see you.
Oh, sorry about that.
There you go.
Okay. My pitch is, good evening, everyone. My pitch is to extend to the business that I helped my fiance start, which is a lash business. I'm looking into trying to purchase wholesale lashes and strip lashes to sell. This way, to cut costs on us with, purchasing her lashes to do for our clients, but also to sell in the borough of Staten Island right now, because there's not a lot of lash techs out here. So, or it's few, but in the cost of lashes, is normally like good lashes, $30, $20 a pack. And we've also learned that strip lashes is a fast way for females that are looking to have extra lashes get done up if they're going on vacation last minute, or fashion shows, or models that they could put on and apply and do what they need to do, and then take it off and go about their other business.
Wow. Yeah. Thank you, Joel. Thank you. So is it more a retail, or are you going to be delivering the lashes to the clients directly? Like they place an order with you, you bring it to their home, or meet them somewhere, or are you trying to open the store?
And no. As of right now, we'll try to actually be home based, where I could ship it out. So if I could order wholesale in bulk, and depending on the amount of, clientele we could reach out to,
right.
Start, at least if it's even starting like in a borough or two boroughs, and then eventually expand to where we could become competitive in the quality of lashes that are being sold to the lash techs to apply to their clients.
Okay, I guess so. Well, why limit it to Staten Island? It's because if you're shipping it, you can potentially ship it like throughout the city, or is it just more of a cost thing, or you just want to keep it local?
This is a start.
Okay.
So what I wouldn't try to overextend myself. It would be to start off with what may be in Staten Island, and to see how it can expand. Okay.
All right. Lashes are that's a big. I'm seeing a lot of comments. So I personally don't purchase lashes, but lashes are a big business. So that's a really good idea. I think that especially if you have if you want to keep it like a niche client base, you have people you'll probably have a loyal customer base, right? If you're servicing a certain amount of people, they'll continue to purchase from you, especially if you're providing great customer service, and you're able to handle any issues that go along with them. If they're nearby, they get in contact with you. Sounds good.
Thank you.
Okay, so network. Joelle, you probably didn't get to see it in the group chat, but Serena Morrison, the young woman who did the pitch before you, says she knows some supply companies. You two need to network, help each other out as John Jay alums, and this is how things get done. So I love that we're going to end with a connection here, where these two folks could potentially network and eventually start a scholarship at John Jay College because they're going to make so much money and they're going to remember this workshop and me telling them to network and me connecting them that they're going to do some fabulous scholarship for us in 10 years, 5 years.
Beautiful.
So with that, we thank you all so much for being here. We are so honored to have Julius and Achumboro, and more so, even more honored to have all of you alumni and students, staff and faculty who have dialed in, because we know your time is valuable and we hope that we gave you quality for that value. We will see you at the second workshop, creating a 30-day marketing plan. There were a lot of preliminary questions about the marketing, so you definitely need to be in attendance for the marketing session. Hera, do you have any other closing words?
Sure. So I just wanted to give a warm thank you to everyone who's on the call and just here with us. Like Roseanne mentioned, this is a 3-part series. We hope to see you guys next Tuesday and then the Tuesday after that. Yes, and just a big round of applause for everyone who's here tonight. Thank you so much to Uplift Communities. Thank you to my partners, Roseanne and Megan, and thank you to all of you. So we hope to see you again soon. Please reach out if you have any questions or concern. We're going to be sending a follow-up, an email with the footage, along with the survey, with all of these resources. So you don't need to worry about that. It's all going to be available to you very, very soon. So once again, thank you so much for everything. And I hope you guys have a good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night. Thank you.
Good night,
Thank you so much.
everyone.
Thank you.
This is great.
Good night, everyone.